Hello Year 4 and welcome to Wednesday's maths lesson. Now I've got a great song to get us started today. It's called the Birdie Song, so follow me for the actions. I'm sure some of your mums and dads will remember this. Okay, hope you can hear it all right. So what you've got to do, go like that and shake your bottom with a little. Just wiggle right down to the floor. Ooh. Okay, now we can walk round with some nice steps and then reach up and clap. Okay, keep going. We'll do it one more time in a sec. It does go on a bit, this song. We get you going, punch across. Right, get ready. There you go. Well done, everybody. Right, I hope you enjoyed that little dance. If you want to do a bit more of that, you can always play the Birdie Song a bit later on. Okay, now we are ready to have our maths lesson. Okay, so just before we start, did you manage to get the answer to the riddle from yesterday? The question was, I have a tail and a head, but no body. What am I? And the answer, of course, was a coin. Wonder if any of you got that. You can always let me know when we chat on Zoom. Okay, so today, what I would like us to do, we are going to be having a go at converting between millimetres, centimetres and metres. So the first thing I'd like to do is write the short date in your book and then the WALT to convert between millimetres, centimetres and metres. Pause the video while you do that. And then we're ready to start. Okay, first thing I'd like you to do, we've got 4 questions to answer here. What I want you to do is have a look at the questions, then pause the video while you try and answer them, and then we'll go through the answers. There is also at the top on the right, just 1 times table question just to answer as well. So there's 4 questions and that. So pause the video, have a go at these questions, okay? Right, so the first question, write an addition to check the answer to the subtraction. So hopefully you added together the 2 numbers 1,680 and 1,720, which would have got you the following, okay? If you'd added those 2 together, you would have got 3,400, okay? So remember, we can do the inverse of subtraction, which is addition, to check an answer. Okay, then you had to subtract 5,826 from 9,000. So hopefully for that one, you did a column subtraction, which I shall just show for you now. So you've written out 9,000, take away 5,826. And what you then obviously needed to do, you can't do 0, take away 6. So you would exchange from the tens, but there's no tens. So you go to the hundreds, but there's no hundreds. So you go all the way to thousands and cross that off, so that becomes an 8. Now that 1,000 can't jump straight from the thousands to the ones, so it has to go into the hundreds. So we have 10 hundreds. We cross that off, so that becomes 9, and put the 100 into the tens. So we have 10 tens. Cross that off, so that becomes 9, and then we move the 1 into the ones column. So now we've got 10 take away 6, which is 4, 9 take away 2, which is 7, 9 take away 8, which is 1, and 8 take away 5, which is 3. Once you've done all that exchanging at the top, the actual question is quite easy. Okay, so just check your answer there. Number 3 is calculate 3,629, add 4,821. So you should again have written the calculation out like that. Now this time we're doing a column addition. 9 add 1, always starting at the ones, is 10. So you put your 0 in and put the 1 underneath the tens. Whoops. 2 and 2 is 4, add that 1 is 5. 8 and 6 is 14, so you put the 4 in and put the 1 across. 4 and 3 is 7, add 1 more is 8. So your answer is 8,450. Now for the question number 4, you've got some sequences that you needed to complete. You needed to first of all check the step on the sequence. Hopefully you identified it's going up in 25s. So the next number would be 200, then 225, and then 250 to get to 275. As a bonus, I hope we identified that 4 times 3 is 12. Right, didn't want to disappoint you. Of course, there's some exercises to go with our 5 a day or our 4 a day. So if you've got one question right on those, you are going to do a frog jump, okay, where you basically look like a frog and you jump up and down. If you've got 2 right, you're jogging on the spot. 3 is mountain climbers, and number 4 out of 4, you are going to do some hopping. Okay, your time starts now. So everybody up on their feet, get doing the exercise that you need to do. If you are doing the frog jump, you could do it all around the room if you like, or you can do it on the spot. Jogging, do that on the spot. You don't want to run into anything. Mountain climbing, you should have your hands on the floor, pulling your knees up to your chest. You have now done half of your time. It's getting harder. All of those exercises are quite difficult to keep doing. See if you can keep going, even if you're slowing down a bit. Keep going, keep going. You've got 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Well done, everybody. So you've had, we've done our activity, and we will now get on at looking at converting our units of measure. Okay, so first of all, I'd like you to pause the video as soon as you've heard this question and write down as many metric units of length that you can think of. Okay, so pause the video, jot them down. Right, I wonder if we managed to get meters, centimetres, kilometres and millimetres. Hopefully you did after our work that we did on Monday, and you should now be experts at actually measuring, particularly in meters, centimetres and millimetres. Okay, so there's our amounts. Just really quickly, just to get your brains working. Can you order those from smallest to largest? Pause the video, order them. Okay, so hopefully you put millimetres, centimetres, meters and kilometres. Just to confirm, when you're writing millimetres, we write mm. When you are writing centimetres, we write cm. When you are writing meters, you write m. And when you're writing kilometres, you write km. And I've just got those up there to show you. Okay, so we've got millimetres. Sorry, I've missed off the m on centimetres. Millimetres, centimetres, meters, and kilometres. That's how you write them for short. Okay, make sure for millimetres you do write double M, otherwise it'll get confused with meters. Okay, so today we are converting units of measure. So what do we need to do to change from centimetres to millimetres? And this is where you're going to be using the work that we did yesterday to help. Okay, so think about the number of millimetres that there are in 1 centimetre. Okay, so in 1 centimetre, there are 10 millimetres. Okay, you can see on my ruler there, and hopefully you've looked at your rulers. 1 centimetre is 10 millimetres, not a very big measurement at all. So what did we do to go from 1 to 10? That's right, we've multiplied it by 10. So look at these amounts and have a think and see if you can work out how many millimetres there will be in 2 centimetres, 3 centimetres and 4 centimetres. You know, to change from centimetres to millimetres, we are multiplying by 10. And from the work we did yesterday, when we multiply by 10, the numbers move 1 place to the left. Now I've drawn up on this board here, and hopefully you can see that, if I just turn the computer around a bit, a place value grid, okay? And what you can also print off and have at your disposal, or you can draw one of those, is I've put another place value grid in your packs for today. Okay, so if you're not sure, I'll just show you the first one. So you would put 2 centimetres in the ones column. Remember, this is where the decimal point goes. We are multiplying by 10, so the numbers are going to move 1 place to the left. So our 2 goes into the tens. We fill up that space with a 0. So 2 centimetres equals 10 millimetres. Okay, pause the video and work out 3 and 4. Okay, so hopefully you worked out that 3, you put it in the ones column, and I'll demonstrate on here. You moves 1 place to the left when you multiply by 10. So that becomes 30 millimetres. And very similar with 4, you might be spotting the pattern now. 4 centimetres becomes 40 millimetres. Okay. Millimetres are smaller, okay? So there's more of them in the same length. There's 10 times more millimetres in the same length than centimetres, which is why we multiply by 10 to go from centimetres to millimetres. What about then, okay, there's a few more examples there. You've got 5 centimetres, 6 centimetres and 7 centimetres and 8 centimetres. Really quickly, If you need your place value grid, fine, or if you can see what you're doing, you know you're multiplying those numbers by 10, answer those questions. Okay, so hopefully you've worked out that it is 5 times 10, which gives you 50 millimeters, 6 times 10, which gives you 60 millimeters, 7 times 10, which gives you 70 centimeters, and 8 times 10, which gives you 80 millimeters. Okay, can you first of all just try this number? What about if I had 7.5 centimeters? So you've just measured something as you were doing the other day, and it came to 7.5 centimeters. If that was the case, you would put 7 in the ones column, your decimal point where it goes, and the 5 in the tenths. Just pause your videos and see if you can work out how many millimeters there are in 7.5 centimeters. Remember, the numbers are moving one place to the left. Okay, hopefully you've worked out that the 7 is going to move into the tens column, the 5 is going to move into the ones column. So the answer is 75 millimeters. In 7.5 centimeters, there are 75 millimeters. Right. So what about if we're trying to sort out some objects to order them from shortest to longest? And if you notice these measurements, we've got some of them in millimeters, we've got some of them in centimeters. Before you can order measurements, the first thing that you need to do is convert them all into the same unit. So I'd like you to pause your videos and see if you can convert the 28 centimeters, that is the shoe, into millimeters, and the cricket bat 60 centimeters into millimeters. Pause your video and see if you can work that out. You know you've got to multiply by 10, so you might be spotting the pattern, or use your grid to help you. Okay, so hopefully you worked out that 28 centimeters multiplied by 10 is 280, and that 60 centimeters is 600 millimeters. So then you can order them, and you can see the paperclip is the smallest, right up to the cricket bat. Okay. Well done if you've managed to spot the pattern. If you need to use your place value grid, that's absolutely fine as well. Just remember, when we're changing from centimeters to millimeters, we multiply by 10. What about then if we are converting millimeters to centimeters? So this time we've taken a measurement and it's come to 70 millimeters. We need to do the inverse. We need to do the opposite. So when you get your answer in millimeters and you want to change it to centimeters, you are now going to divide by 10. And to divide by 10, as we learned yesterday, we are going to move the digits one place to the right. So in the example of 70, we put the 70 in our place value grid, which you can see up here, 7 in the tens, 0 in the ones, and we're going to move each digit one place to the right. Okay, so our answer becomes 7.0 centimeters. Don't forget to put the decimal point after the ones, otherwise your answers will not be correct. Okay, so there's some examples there on that clipboard. I'd like you to pause the video, use a place value grid, have a go at converting those millimeters to centimeters by dividing by 10, remembering that you are moving the digits one place to the right. Okay. Right, hopefully you've managed to work those out. With A, you did 50 divided by 10, which hopefully you knew was 5. 130 divided by 10. Just show you this example, you put the 1 in the hundreds, the 3 in the tens, the 0 in the ones. Each digit's moving one place to the right. So we end up with an answer that is 13 centimeters, okay? And hopefully you did exactly the same with all. I won't go through all of them because it will take a very long time, but 85 would have become 8 centimeters, 5 millimeters, or 8.5 as we've been using. 300 millimeters becomes 30 centimeters, 427 becomes 42 centimeters, 7 millimeters, or 42.7 centimeters, and 89 millimeters becomes 8 centimeters, 9 millimeters, or 8.9 centimeters. Right, now moving on, meters to centimeters. So now we're thinking, how many centimeters are there in 1 meter? In 1 meter, there are, of course, 100 centimeters. So to go from 1 meter to 100 centimeters, what have we done? That's right, we have multiplied by 100. So if that's what we need to do to change from meters to centimeters, what are we going to do to these amounts that I've written down, or that are written down here? Pause the video, see if you can work out what 2 meters is in centimeters, knowing that you need to multiply each one by 100. Right, hopefully you've worked out that 2 meters in centimeters is 200 centimetres, 3 metres is 300 centimetres, and 4 metres is 400 centimetres. What about then if the question said, if I'd measured something and it came to 4.7 metres, 4.7 metres. So what I would do to start with is I'd put my 4.7 in my place value grid. And then I want you to pause the video and work out what 4.7 metres is in centimetres by multiplying 4.7 by 100, by moving the digits 2 places to the left. Pause the video, have a go. Right, hopefully you've realised that you need to move the 4 across into the hundreds, the 7 across into the tens, and then we fill that gap with a 0, and then we've got a decimal point. That is the end of the number. So 4.7 metres is 470 centimetres. Okay. So to convert from metres to centimetres, we multiply by 100. There are some other examples there. If you feel you need a little bit more practice, pause the video at this point and try and multiply each of those numbers by 100 to go from metres to centimetres. So to go from metres to centimetres, we multiply by 100. So what do we think we need to do to go from centimetres to metres? Okay, I just want to pause it for 1 second. So to go from centimetres to metres, we're going to do the inverse. We are going to divide, not multiply, but this time we're dividing by 100. So if we have got 500 centimetres, we can put it in our place value grid, 5 in the hundreds, 0 in the tens, 0 in the ones. And this time we're going to move the numbers 2 places, hope you can see that, 2 places to the right. So the 5 is going to move into the ones. The next, put a decimal point in, then the next 0 is going to move into the tenths and the other 0 into the hundredths. So our answer is actually 5 metres. Okay, so have a look at those amounts. What I want you to do in a second is pause your recording, have a go at converting all of those centimetres into metres, remembering that you need to divide each number by 100, which means you need to move each digit 2 places to the right. Have a little try at that. Okay, so starting with 800, we put that in, 800 centimetres. We want to divide that by 100. The 8 moves into the ones and the rest follow. Don't forget to put your decimal point in. So 800 centimetres is 8 metres. What about 580 then? 580, don't forget your decimal point. The numbers are going to move 2 places because we are dividing by 100. 5 goes in the ones, the 8 goes in the tenths, and then you've got your 0 in the hundredths. Don't forget your decimal point. So 580 centimetres is 5 metres and 80 centimetres, or 5.8 metres. Should have done the same with all the others. 145 centimetres is 1 metre 45 centimetres, or 1.45. 400 centimetres is 4 metres. 230 centimetres is 2 metres. 30 centimetres, or 2.3 metres. And 305, we'll just have a look at this one. I put the 305 in there, and I'm going to divide by 100. So the numbers are going to move 2 places. So the 3 goes into the ones, the 0 goes into the tenths, and the 5 goes into the hundredths. Okay, so our answer is 3.05 metres, or 3 metres 5 centimetres. Well done if you got those answers. Okay. You are ready. I'm just going to stop sharing this so you can see the activities. You are ready to start your independent work now. So I've put it all on in the folder for today's maths lesson. They are labelled with the group that you are in. So it will say Wednesday maths and it will say circles. Now for circles, I'd like you to have a try at this sheet. When I mentioned the 1 star, there is a star at the top of the sheet. When you go into that folder, and you may already have done so, you don't need to print off all the sheets. This is just 2 sides. It's probably helpful to print this off so you've got it in front of you, but if you would prefer to look at it on the screen and answer in your book, that is also fine. And what you are doing is having a go, first of all, ordering some amounts, converting between centimetres and millimetres, and then on the back it moves on to converting to metres and centimetres. Try your best with that. If you only get half it done in the time, that's fine. Okay. If you are in squares, I'd like you to try on the same document, there is a 2-star activity, and I want you to try that one. Again, it's 2-sided, sorry, it starts that side and goes on to the back. but obviously when you print it off, it will look different to that. But there's 2 pages worth of work there. Get done as much as you can in the time that you have got. Okay, and if you are in pentagons, I have got, it's labeled pentagons in the Wednesday work folder, but you've got lots and lots of conversions to do, from centimetres to millimetres, millimetres to centimetres, centimetres to metres, and metres to centimetres. Remembering your conversion. And finally, hexagons, you have got some tables there, okay, that you also need to do the conversions on. So that's your work. What really might help you today is there is a document in that folder called Place Value and Conversion Reminder, this sheet here. This bit is another place value chart. Like I say, you can draw one out underneath. If you want to start drawing your own grid and moving the digits, that's a really good idea. If you need help remembering what the conversion is, use this box here, because this box tells you that if you want to go from millimetres to centimetres, you divide by 10. If you want to go from centimetres to millimetres, you multiply by 10. And similar for the one with centimetres to metres. So that's just a really good recap for you. So if you have that in front of you, it'll help you. Okay, I hope you will understand that. Good luck with working those out. It's exactly the same as what we did yesterday, dividing and multiplying by 10 and 100. So thank you for joining me today. Just before we leave, I have got another riddle for you. So I will just find that for you. Okay, our riddle today: which word becomes shorter when you add 2 letters to it? Which word becomes shorter when you add 2 letters to it? Okay, happy maths, and I will see you all tomorrow.